talk about deadbeat parents. You don't want to talk about it?
Yeah, I want to talk about it.
Okay. So, I would like to start.
It's a touchy topic.
It's a touchy topic for you?
For everybody.
I guess.
It's a lot of deadbeats.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure that we know that there are deadbeat fathers and there are deadbeat mothers. It goes both ways. A lot of times we talk about it in the scope of it being a father, but mothers are deadbeats as well. They can be. I just want to define the definition according to deadbeat is defined as a person who tries to evade paying debts. So that can be a man or a woman.
And a lot of times it's look bad at us black males because I don't know why the perception of us is look so bad. Like we don't pay child support, we don't take care of our kids. Same on the spectrum as color too. White males, you know, it's a lot of white males who deadbeats. They don't take care of their kids either. You know, whatever you want to call it, trailer trash, however you want to call it. I mean, and I just, on this show, I'm going to be blunt and I'm going to say how I feel. I don't really care what people think or none of that. It's just, these is my opinions, these my feelings, and I ain't going to argue with nobody or go back and forth. This is just how I feel about it.
What I would like to say about deadbeat parents, I want to talk about deadbeats in the scope of it being a man or a woman. I'm not trying to bash either or, but whoever you are, if you're a deadbeat, then fuck you. I define a deadbeat parent as somebody who thinks of themselves first and only. You don't think about the well-being of your child. If you try to use other people to get money, use your child to get other people to give you money, then you're a deadbeat. If you try to keep the other parent out of the life of your child, you're a deadbeat. If you're not in the life of your child, of course, you're a deadbeat. If you don't provide financially for your child or spend time with your child, you are a deadbeat. Those are the only two things that people usually bring up. A lot of times it's the baby mama saying that he don't buy this and he don't buy that and he don't do this and he don't do that. This is the person you chose to have a baby by. People have to be careful with who they procreate with. It's like your decision. You had sex with somebody and got pregnant by them. Like, it's your responsibility to not just get pregnant by anybody who you have sex with. Like, you have to be careful. You have to use protection. You have to pick the father of your kids and the mother of your kids very wisely because you might end up with a deadbeat.
In my situation, you know, I'm a product of a deadbeat parent. Not two, one. But that makes me stronger to raise my two boys that I do have. You know, they healthy. I make sure I teach them stuff, daily values, stuff that they can take on in their life and make money with and, you know, use their brain. That's what it's about. Like, I just don't see how you could live in the same city, be around, like, not 10 minutes away from your child and don't come see him for, like, 36 years. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing to me that,
not 36 years, man.
36 years, like, you know, I got one of my parents I seen very rarely, and when I do see him, the circumstances ain't about like, hey, how you been doing and all that type of stuff. It's just for stuff that they may want or need, you know what I'm saying? Just don't call me when you want something, you know what I'm saying?
And then that affects our kids as well because they don't get to know their grandparents, and that's fucked up for them. I don't like that.
These is kind of some devastating stats, man. I know we said mamas and daddies, but I'm going to read you from the fatherless, the statistics and shit. Like, it say 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes. That's horrible.
Horrible.
90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 32 times the average. That's crazy.
Yeah.
85% of all children who show behavior disorders come from fatherless homes. 20 times the average. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes.
Right.
Crazy. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. I mean, these stats is crazy, man. It's like,
they're all negative.
Whatever y'all can do, man, stay in your kids' life. You know, females who try to keep dudes out their kids' life, that shit wrong as hell.
You're a deadbeat.
Especially if that's what they want to do. It's enough of my my daddies out here. It's enough of them. I think more men need to step up, just like more women need to step up too. But I'm gonna speak to the men. More men need to step up and be in their kids' life, man, every day, not once a month, once a year. You know, not Christmas time. This shit is every day.
Every day.
So
all
do
day.
better.
Also, people need to choose wisely who they have kids with. You cannot be having kids with every person you're in a relationship with. That doesn't make sense, first of all. And like men, a lot of men are absent from their kids' life, as Q just read the statistics. So the majority of the time it's a single mother that's raising the kids. So men need to stop just having a whole bunch of kids by a bunch of different women, because there's no way in hell that you can be in 5 different households at one time and be there for your kids. Like Q just said, it's every day. If you can't be there every day 24/7, then you're not going to be able to provide anything for your kids. You're not going to be able to be enough of an example in their life to make a difference, because there are going to be times when you away for so long and you got to be up to speed on what they're doing or who they're hanging around. You have to be present. You have to teach them stuff. And once you teach them stuff, then they will know, and you can be confident that they'll go out in the world and be successful. But if you haven't been in your child's life, then they can become a rapist. They can become, you don't know you don't know them and they don't know you, so they are susceptible to a lot of different bullshit. The kids are subject to repeat the same cycle, have kids and not give a fuck about them, or they can break the cycle, which is what I've done, because my dad wasn't in my life, but I've been there for my kids ever since I had my son. I've been there for him, and the same for my other son. I can't imagine not being around my kids. I don't understand how your flesh and blood could be in the world and you don't care what happens to them. Like, that's crazy to me, and I would never do that. So I don't understand that. I can't relate to that from a man or a woman. If you don't know who the father of your child is, you're a deadbeat. If you lied about who the father of your child is, you're a deadbeat.
Let me read you some more stats. Father factor of child abuse. Compared to living with both parents, living in a single parent home doubles the risk that a child will suffer physical, emotional, or educational neglect.
So it's possible, but it's very rare in a 2-parent household. That's crazy. People, just be smarter about who you procreate with. I can't say that enough. Use condoms. Get DNA tests immediately. If you suspect that, if you're a man, you suspect that the baby is not yours, get a DNA test immediately. Don't wait till the child is like 10 years old, or, you know what I'm saying, spend 10 years not claiming the child, and then when the child turns 10 years old and you find out that it was your child, it is your child, then you look fucking stupid. You missed 10 years. Time is something you can't get back, and kids need to feel loved. They did not ask to be here. If you have kids, you have to be there for them. It's bullshit that you're not there for them. There's no excuse in this world that will make me understand why you aren't there for your kids.
That's one side, and then just think about if you don't. If you're not there, you got to think about that side too. Are you willing for your kid to hate you for the rest of their life, and you hate yourself when they 25 and maybe successful, or maybe they might get gunned down in the street, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you would feel like you could have done more or been there for them, you know what I'm saying? So don't walk around with that guilt. I don't get my chance to have that guilt, you know what I'm saying, in my life. I wake up, I do what I got to do every day for mine, and I discipline them, you know, if they hate me, whatever, I don't care. But, you know, by the time I'm dead, they'll never be able to say that Dad didn't do what he was supposed to do for me. I do what I'm supposed to do every day for mine.
I just want to reiterate my points. A man or a woman could be a deadbeat parent. It's not just designed for men. Women can be deadbeat parents.
Like the stats say.
Right. And also, please wear condoms. You are in charge of who you have children by.
Safe.
Like, unless unfortunately, it's unfortunate that you might get raped or something and you get pregnant. Other than that, you are in charge of who you have kids with. You can choose the person that will be there and that will be a good parent to your child, and not somebody who's gonna use the child as a pawn over your head and not let you see them. Or
maybe they kidnap somebody and take you to Area 51 and plant something in you.
And that's how you get pregnant.
That's how you get pregnant.
Oh my God, no, that's not how you get pregnant. Use condoms.
That's
please,
a whole nother topic,
and
though.
choose wisely, because it will help you alleviate a lot of pain in your life, because the child is going to suffer, number one. And depending on whether you want to be in your child's life or not, you're going to suffer. Because if you want to be in the child's life and the deadbeat ass mother is stopping you from being in the child's life, then the child's going to suffer and you're going to suffer. But in all situations of a deadbeat parent, the child is the number one person that suffers. So people need to think about that. Like, what can I provide for a child? Okay, I can't provide much for a child, so let me use condoms until I get my shit together, so I don't just be having babies by these bitches out here. And women, vice versa. Have a nigga use a condom. Like, I don't understand what's the problem with condoms. Condoms, birth control, all kinds of stuff is out there. What do you guys think about deadbeat moms and deadbeat dads? I do know that there's a higher instance of deadbeat dads than moms, but there are deadbeat moms out there. I mean, we need to acknowledge that them hoes is out there.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of them.
They out there.
For real.
They out there. Let's talk about it.
In disguise.
They out there. Let's talk about it, guys. Comment, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you next time. Bye.